So here we are playing WrestleMania 19 on the GameCube. That's pretty awesome, man. We have the title screen right here, start screen. Very, very fancy looking WrestleMania logo. And we have WrestleMania right around the corner. And this is the main menu right here. We have quite a few different options. You have a shop zone, which is pretty cool. King of the Ring, Exhibition, Revenge, which is batshit crazy. So in Exhibition mode, you have quite a few different options you can choose, and including the Revenge stages, which I'll show you a little bit later. And even in the Fatal 4-Way matches, you can choose a lot of different options right here. Look at this. This looks pretty freaking nuts. And of course, we're going to choose WrestleMania. Here's your roster right here. It's actually pretty damn impressive. You have Hulk Hogan. You have Stone Cold Steve Austin. You even have Kurt Angle, who's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame tonight, I believe. That's one thing I like about WrestleMania 19 on GameCube is the stadium actually looks like a stadium. Even today's wrestling games kind of suck because when you choose the WrestleMania stage, it looks like a fake stadium. It doesn't even look real. I mean, it looks small. When you play this game, it actually looks very, very large. It looks like the real thing. And then you have Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Bionic Redneck. Look at this. Texas Rattlesnake. Look at, he's just coming out pissed off. Look at that. The animations are a little dated, a little clunky, but you know what? It doesn't really matter. The graphics look awesome. The gameplay is even better because it's like SmackDown and the old AKI No Mercy games mixed together. Hey, look how big he is. Holy crap. He's gonna freaking beat the shit out of somebody. Look at this. Yeah, take that. Whatever the hell that was. Look how big that stadium is. I mean, this... It looks like the real thing. It's ridiculous. And here we have Kurt Angle coming out. And he's wearing his robe. And that actually looks like Kurt Angle is probably one of the best character models I've seen. Look at that. Bam, take that. Got fireworks spitting over the place. Look at that. There's a lot of detail in this game. The thing that impresses me the most is the size of the arena. Or the stadium, I should say. You can actually see way in the background. It looks like the real thing. It actually looks very, very impressive. And then we have the match right here, and you can tell there's a little bit of a fast pace. Looks similar to SmackDown to a certain extent, but in my opinion it has much better graphics. And the actual controls are very, very similar to what you'd get in like No Mercy or a Nintendo 64 wrestling game. Actually has very, very good gameplay. And as you can see there, you can get busted open very, very easily. Hulkamania just got busted open. Look at that blood going over the damn place. So in the Revenge mode, this is a very, very interesting mode. This is not your typical wrestling game. I'm going to show you right here. Now, back in the day when I used to play this, I used to pick Scott Steiner. It's always the perfect guy to pick for this mode. Get kicked out of the arena for some reason. I don't know why, because, you know, you like to call people a bunch of fat asses. And then basically what happens is you have a series of different stages you can fight on. And we'll check this out first. And you'll see how ridiculous this is. You can actually kill people. So yeah, this is what these stages look like. And this definitely does not look like your typical wrestling game. Just check this out. It's been a while since I played this. Oh yeah, this is the Revenge stage. And in this game right here, you can actually... Let me see if I remember how to play this correctly. It's been a while. I mean, look at this. Oh, he broke his freaking neck. He ain't getting up from that. There's no way. Yeah, take that, you son of a bitch. Look at this. He's hanging off. They can little kick him. And look, he fell off to his death. Did you see that? This is like the first wrestling game where you can actually kill people. Like, actually kill people. What the fuck? He threw that freaking barrel at his head. And watch this. Bam! Break his neck. There's no way he's going to live through that. You might as well forget about it. You can jump down yourself if you want. Pick up a box. Wait for him to get back up, which I don't think is going to happen. So what you're going to do now is pick the box up and break it on him. Yeah, so this is a very, very interesting game mode. It's called Revenge mode, and Yeah, it's something that you'll never ever see in any wrestling game. This is only on GameCube, only in this particular game. It's completely over the top. And either you love it or you hate it. I personally think it's pretty cool. I think it's fun. And sometimes it's a prick. It's really hard at sometimes, but yeah, this game is definitely a really, really strange game mode that I have never seen it in a wrestling game before, and it's actually really cool in my opinion. We have WrestleMania, the arcade game on the Sony PlayStation, is also available on the Sega Saturn, but I think this time around they believe the PlayStation version was the best version of the game. And this is definitely one of my old school favorite wrestling games right here. This game is awesome. You have a pretty simple roster, not a whole lot of wrestlers, but just enough that it's actually fun to play. You got Doink the Clown, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart. You know, you see it all right here. Even Lex Luger was in the game still. He wasn't even in WWE at the time. Somehow he made the game. And this is pretty close to the arcade version. I think the DOS version of the game was probably the better version of the game, but for a console version, this is the best right here. Now, I would usually say that the Sega Saturn version was the best, but unfortunately, if you do a comparison between the PlayStation version and the Sega Saturn version, for some reason, the developers were a little sloppy on the Saturn version. I'm not sure why, but the shadows on the rope were even missing on the Saturn version, which I don't get. Yeah, this game plays like Mortal Kombat with wrestlers. I mean, this is awesome. Like that, look at that. What the hell is that? That's freaking crazy. And this is a great game to play right before you watch WrestleMania in a couple days. As long as you're not getting squashed by Yokozuna, because that hurts a little bit. You might not get back up afterwards. So another thing I like about the game is the little entrance that they have right here. You walk from wrestler to wrestler. That's actually pretty creative. Pretty cool. Everything's all digitized, so even the fans in the audience look all digital looking. Look at that. There's a big guy in the front row that's wearing the white shirt right there. He always looked like Big Show to me for some reason. Yeah, so this game is pretty fun. It's challenging. If you like Mortal Kombat and wrestling, this is the perfect combination right here. The graphics are awesome. They have a nice retro look. And everything's all digitized. Looks awesome. It's definitely a very, very cool wrestling game. There's a MAME ROM, arcade ROM, available of this game as well. That's probably even better than the PlayStation version. This is the actual arcade version. You might want to check that out as well. If you have a Sega Saturn, you can also play the Saturn version. It is not perfect, in my opinion, but still plays good. And that is WrestleMania, the arcade game on the PlayStation. And it's available on Saturn, and it's available on 16-bit consoles as well. What the hell is Undertaker doing? What the hell is that? What the hell is going on here? So if you want to even go back further than WrestleMania the arcade game, on 16-bit consoles we had WWF Super WrestleMania. Look at that. You had Hulk Hogan. Look at that. And this is on the Sega Genesis version of the game. This is the one that I do remember playing back with my cousin back in the day. Look at that. What an awesome looking title screen. Now this is a very, very, very similar to WrestleMania Steel Cage Challenge on the Sega Master System and the NES. Except in this version of the game, you don't have a steel cage, which kind of sucks. However, your roster is pretty cool looking. I mean, look at this. Yeah, Papa Shango, Earl and R. Shyster, Randy Savage, British Bulldog, Hulk Hogan, Shawn Michaels. You had even Ultimate Warrior, Ted DiBiase. It's not a big game when it comes to wrestlers. I mean, you had a handful of decent wrestlers. We'll choose Hulk Hogan. We're fighting British Bulldog. Howard Finkel was doing the ring announcer, and then we have the referee in the ring. You can see the commentators at ringside. If you ever played Steel Cage Challenge, then you're probably going to be very familiar with how this game plays. It's nothing but button mashing. I like how when you climb up the top rope, they actually retreat to the other side of the ring because they know that you're going to jump off. And once you get down, watch this. Oh, crap. What the hell is that? I did not mean to do that. I busted my hip. This came out before Royal Rumble and that WWF Raw game on the Genesis and Super Nintendo. So this came out first, and it was, I guess, not a bad game. It was kind of like a mixture between 16-bit. Watch this. You climb up there, he retreats, climb down. If I can climb down, all right. That is funny. What a stupid AI. Yeah, so that's basically how this game plays. There's nothing really fancy about it at all. You can see even the crowd doesn't even move. It was basically the first WWF game on the 16-bit consoles, both Super Nintendo and Genesis. I mean, the Super Nintendo version had slightly different roster. I don't recall exactly who's on their roster. But the Genesis version is as followed. It looks exactly like this. It's not a bad game at all. It's pretty, well, we had a 10 count. What the hell? How the hell? He was outside the ring too. That's bullshit. It was a double count out. Now, going back even before Super WrestleMania on Super Nintendo and Genesis, we had the also famous Steel Cage Challenge on NES, which personally was one of my favorites. So let's check this out. We have our main menu right here. We have player versus computers, or players versus computers, which is pretty cool. Because you can actually have multiple you have a tag team match, and you have player versus player. And this roster was pretty cool. We had Hogan, Undertaker, Jake the Snake Roberts, Ted DiBiase, Randy Savage, Bret Hart was even in the game, Sid Vicious, Roddy Piper was in the freaking game. Look at that. Rowan R. Shyster, the Mountie was in the game. Look at that. That's freaking awesome. And we have Howard Finkel doing the ring announcing again, but instead of him being inside the ring, it pretty much looks like a little comic type thing going on here. Look at that. And now here we do have the cage match, and we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fans in attendance for this cage match. It's outstanding. And one thing I do remember about this game is that no matter what wrestler you are, you can actually do a Sid Vicious powerbomb, just like that, if you push A and B together. So it's like there's one finisher in the game. I consider that a finisher because, bam, look at that. Looks pretty awesome. And you cannot climb the cage if they're standing on their feet, so you have to knock them on their ass in order to climb the cage. So bam, take that and start climbing that cage. You got back up. What the hell? In fact, me and my cousin used to play this before he got Super WrestleMania on Genesis. We spent probably hours and hours playing this game. As crazy as it sounds. So we almost have him knocked out. So now we can climb the cage up. See if we can win. Since you get to the top of the cage, you win. What the hell? Yeah, powerbomb your ass against the cage. That was pretty damn vicious. Sid Vicious. Yeah, Hulk Hogan wins. Look at that. And that's what happens when you win. You pretty much do your little pose at the top of the cage. And here's your winner of the steel cage match, Hulk Hogan. And yeah, that game went pretty well. It was much better than the last game I got screwed in. Now, going back even further, the game that came out before WrestleMania Steel Cage Challenge was actually WrestleMania Challenge. There was a lot of WrestleMania games that came out. And, on NES by itself, I mean, NES had 3 WrestleMania games, which is ridiculous. This one had Ultimate Warrior on the title screen. Now, this game was known to be the favorite WrestleMania game on the NES. So you can also wrestle as yourself, which is, in my opinion, I thought that was kind of stupid, but yeah, you can actually play as yourself. Randy Savage, the Ultimate Warrior, Ravishing Rick Rude was in the game. Brutus Beefcake, Hogan, Andre the Giant was in the game. Wow, look at that. Big Boss Man. Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I personally think that the roster on Steel Cage Challenge was better. This one is pretty slim. Doesn't have too many, but still. Not bad. Let's pick Hogan. And we are having an epic WrestleMania 3 rematch. Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan. And yeah, this game looks... It has that, how should I say, Fire Pro Wrestling type look to it. Looks kind of crazy looking. And the graphics are not too bad. You have a lot more fans in attendance. This is probably the freaking Pontiac Silver. You actually have fans waving their hands. You saw that? That was pretty cool. You can see the cameras, flashes and stuff like that. They're taking pictures. This is definitely the Pontiac Silverdome. Look at that. I mean, if you can pan the crowd, you can probably see that there's probably multiple layers of fans going all the way to the back of the stadium, and Andre the Giant's beating my ass. And it's pretty cool. They actually have the life meter on the actual ring mat itself, the apron. And what the hell? Andre the Giant is squashing my ass. I was on the rope, you fat son of a bitch. Now he's jumping up in the air. There's like a freaking earthquake in Michigan because of it. The reason why they had a Survivor Series match in this game is because originally it was supposed to be Survivor Series instead of WrestleMania. And yeah, I've been eliminated. So yeah, because this game was originally Survivor Series, they have the wording as if it is Survivor Series still. So I have been eliminated from a singles match somehow. And then we have this game right here, the first WrestleMania game on NES. And it basically says Acclaim presents WrestleMania Bigger, Badder, Better. This came out around the time WrestleMania 3 came out. So it has the same exact, pretty much catchphrase. Actually, it came out, I think, around WrestleMania 4, if not mistaken. Let's see. Yeah, 88, so it's WrestleMania 4. This game features a lot of different wrestling music, rendered, or actually synthesized in NES fashion, that you would actually hear on the Power Driver album. And you even hear the Coliseum video music in the background on the title screen. I believe right there you'll probably hear it. I don't have the sound on, but I remember we reviewed this game a while ago. I mean, WrestleVessel reviewed it, and for some reason it got copyright protection, so we're going to just keep it at that. So there was a tech team that went by the name Strike Force. Not even in the game, but for some reason their music's actually in the game. And as you can see right here, we have to choose our wrestler. Andre the Giant. You have Hulk Hogan, Ted DiBiase, Bam Bam Bigelow's in the game, Honky Tonk Man, Macho Man Randy Savage, and we'll pick Hogan again. And what the hell is that? Did you see that like meat slab that this got thrown into the ring? What the fuck was that? Yeah, this is the gamers itself right here, and Hogan's wearing red tights this time around. I'm not sure why, but yeah, this game, I remember back when my dad had the NES console, back around when this game first came out, I think he rented this game, or he might have bought it for cheap from a video store, because back then the video stores would actually just get rid of NES games and sell it for like $5 or something like that. And I remember he had this game, and I remember seeing it, and back then I thought, oh, wow, this is pretty cool. But now that I look at it, this is probably one of the worst wrestling games ever. It was a nice first attempt. Every single wrestler in this game walks around like they're going to shit themselves. It's like, oh yeah, I got to get to the bathroom, look at me, I'm going to shit my pants, look at me. That's pretty much what they look like. You can actually run around, Andre the Giant's getting pissed off. Yeah, so this is WrestleMania, the first WrestleMania game on the NES. I believe there might have been a few other WrestleMania games that came out on Commodore or Amiga, something like that. So I'm pretty sure they had a WrestleMania European Tour game that came out in Europe. Which that game was pretty atrocious. And that's WrestleMania. Bigger, better, badder on the NES. The WrestleMania 33 is in a couple of days. So yeah, these are a few games that you can play leading into WrestleMania.